What's happening, Soul Fam? It is Tarot Tuesday, and we're going to be doing 3 different spreads. The original one is going to be about your zodiac sign. We're going to be pulling out one card for that so you know what's affecting your zodiac. The second layer right here is going to be one of my tarot tapestries that I'm currently creating. If you've been following us on Patreon, we've been diving a lot into discovering your soul purpose, discovering the wealth of your soul and how to more so embody your Dharma as well. So that's going to be the second one. If you have not taken any of the lessons that have been coming out from there just yet, don't worry, you'll still be able to understand the reading. And then the final one, of course, which is the planetary cosmology energy, so we can understand where the planets are and the energies that are affecting us in terms of the planets. Don't forget to give us a subscribe, a like, a share. Follow us on Patreon, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, okay? So you can basically get all the good vibes. Let's get started. So we're going to start off right here with Aries. Aries, this is a time for you to be in a very powerful state of healing, okay? So when we end up looking at these numbers, it's 36, okay? Aries, if you've been seeing a lot of combinations of 6, 5s, 2s, 3s, 4s, it's all basically the universe trying to tell you, hey, you got to change your environment by changing your thoughts, by staying focused, by also inviting in more material abundance of any kind. Now, Aries, if you're one of the Aries that are in alignment with your cosmic energy, you're going to notice that a lot of blessings most recently started happening for you that you were not aware were even going to be possible. Rather, it's you manifested meeting someone, or you're noticing that your manifestations are closer to you than you ever originally anticipated. So it's very important for you right now to take this time for your healing. Now, it's not about diving into your traumas and trying to be in like this space of, oh, why did something happen to me? That's not the kind of healing we're talking about right here. What we're talking about is a form of healing that allows you to step into this higher vibration of recognizing, I am changing myself, I am changing my environment, therefore I am healing, right? It's not about always trying to revisit the past. It's more so about saying, hey, this isn't working for me anymore, and I'm going to move forward. Pisces, your energy is all about understanding, and you also have the 3 in your vibration, okay? So Pisces, it's really important for you to not only see where you're being lazy or deficient, it's very important for you to also understand why other people, other situations around you are happening or reacting to you. Pisces, right now it's a really powerful time for you to just kind of like go by the flow, and do like whatever is coming your way, but this is not the time to be actually letting yourself fall into that trap. Right now is a time where you need to like develop a structure, you need to develop something that's going to work for you. You're going to have to develop an understanding that you're self-sabotaging yourself at some degree from attaining your goal. Now, Pisces, when it comes to you, you need to be paying attention to your intuition, as your intuition might be slightly off just with a few things here and there. So try to pay attention to where your intuition is slightly off and then kind of tweak as you become aware of that. But right now for you is a lot of understanding. Aquarius, sustenance, harmony, the number 7. For Aquarius right now for you is just kind of like absorbing everything that's coming your way, finding as much harmony as possible, and indulging yourself, okay? A lot of times Aquarius gets stuck in their minds and they have these moments where they indulge and they don't. Right now is an indulging moment, Aquarius. So there's not much more to say here other than to make yourself feel good. It's your key word right now is pleasure and sustenance. If it's not causing you pleasure, it is not your sustaining factor, all right? We're going to go over to Capricorn. Capricorn, you guys are diving deep into the inner child, okay, with the number 12. The number 12 has to do with 1 being like manifesting something and 2 being positive. So the more you're living from a childlike expression, a childlike nature, the more you're willing to let go of the things that have been holding your childhood back are the vibrations that you're going to be able to create more and more into your reality. So it's really, really important for you to go ahead and step into this light understanding that, like, things happen to us, right? And sometimes people think that we're childish, but that child vibration never stopped existing anyway. And for you, Capricorn, it's going to be a very powerful moment where some people might be looking at you and saying, like, oh, you're immature, or oh, you're unrealistic, or oh, whatever, right? But really, at the end of the day, time and space doesn't exist. You've always been that inner child. You just chose not to live like that for a while. So where other people are being caught up in the illusion and saying you need to mature, or you need to, like, get your shit together, pay attention here and there, like, because sometimes those criticisms or those things that are being brought up to your attention are the cosmos trying to let you know something about yourself. But if you feel like it's not right for you, and someone's just pretty much judging you because they're not looking out for your best interests, just keep doing you. All right, Capricorn, keep doing you. Don't worry about anything else. Now we're gonna go over to Sagittarius. Sagittarius has 5, okay? Energetic movement. Sagittarius, right now is the time for you to be really putting yourself in this, like, kind of like dance mode, working out, going on walks. Like, you need to have a lot of movement right now to get the chi flowing through your body. Sagittarius, you might have noticed that most recently something has been happening with your finances and, like, your world. Like, things got really chaotic. It's because usually you had a very strong vision that you wanted, and it came to you, but it came faster, because now as we're stepping deeper into the 5th dimensional energies, which we've been in a while, but we're always getting deeper and deeper and deeper, you're going to be noticing, oh wow, like, my manifestations are coming faster, right? And the more desire you had for a specific manifestation, the even faster it comes, right? Because time and space is heavily warped right now. It's really important for you to use this movement of, like, energetic vibration, basically, like, clear your chakras and stuff like that, into your environment. So, like, make sure that you're creating an environment that allows you to move. All right, it's not just about, like, physical movement all the time. It's also about, like, do you have the real estate to move forward in a specific direction that you want to go into. Then we have Scorpio. Scorpio, your vibration right now is all about grounding yourself with the number 10 and generosity. Scorpios can be very generous people, but they can also be very kind of conditional with that generosity. Right now, it's about grounding the generosity where you feel like it should go without any conditions. Because Scorpio, and this goes with any sign, okay? If you're an Aries and you're healing with an objective of, like, what am I going to get out of this, you're not authentically healing for the sake of healing. If you're trying to understand something just so you can go ahead, Pisces, and use that to, like, your advantage to some degree, that's not always coming from a neutral standpoint. And this is one of those things that's very hard for a lot of people to understand when we're walking through any of these vibrations in general, is any intention that you have that is for the outcome of a specific result is not always coming from a place of neutrality or a place where your Dharma is naturally trying to surface itself. Because duality and polarity are what causes judgment, which then causes illusion, which then causes more separation. So here, generosity, specifically when it comes to the Scorpio, is to understand that give for the sake of giving. You have a lot, okay, give. Don't worry about whether or not it's going to come back to you. Don't give because you're looking for help later down the road. Now, there's nothing wrong with giving in those aspects and, like, living any of these aspects from like the creation of the future. But really, if the creation of the future is what's determining our present moment right now, you're still stuck in time and space. And a lot of times we don't really see that. Having these intentions like, okay, I'm going to help this one person, and I know that when I need a favor, they're going to come through because I helped them this one time. That's looking into the future. That's working within matter. That's working within time. That's working within space. That's going to make things more 3D over the course of your experience, versus just saying, I'm going to help this person because I know they need the help, and who knows, maybe one day it'll come back to me. Who knows? Maybe one day it'll come back to me. That's like the clear message that you can put out into the universe, saying, like, I'm just doing it. I'm neutral about it. One day, maybe. If not, cool. I'm okay with that, right? So that's kind of like one of the vibrations you really want to own on to. We're going to be stepping into Libra. Libra, be candid. The number 25, the throat chakra. You need to speak some serious truth Libra, you need to really just go out there and just speak whatever's on your mind. Also, Libra, it's really important for you to understand that you need to guard your own temperance in a certain kind of way. So temperance meaning like you need to understand where you burn bridges and where you don't burn bridges. Like if you go ahead and you start some shit with somebody and you couldn't control your tongue, Libra, and then now you're starting to realize, oh, I might have fucked up a little bit here and there because I had this like huge intense vibration of like the illusion. You can't backtrack that. And a lot of Libras right now might be feeling candid where they saw that they burned a bridge with someone and they're like, oh shit, like I kind of want to open up that gateway between the two of us again. That shit sailed already. Not because the other person isn't interested in talking to you, is more so how you went about orchestrating your event with that person. Like your actions speak louder than words. The way you behave speaks louder than words. Libra, you might have noticed as well that most recently you were having interactions with people and it kind of seemed like it was very confrontational, the kind of vibrations that you were having with other individuals, right? And it kind of just felt like every moment of expressions felt like an argument. Libra, most likely that was coming from your side of the story. Not because you might have been looking for that vibration, but because there is something deep inside that you need to be candid with. You need to just get real with. You need to be able to just like blow it off and just recognize that there's something there and then just like let it go, right? And that's all the throat chakra, the shadow, authenticity, wisdom, truth, knowledge. Libra, right now is a time for you to kind of like sit back and meditate and ask yourself what's been holding you back this whole entire time, and if you want to keep living that life. Only you can set yourself free when you change your consciousness overall. And if you're not going to decide to do that now, you probably won't decide to do that for a while. Virgo, we have you with steadfastness and 32. Virgo, you're having really good energy right now where you're able to go out of your way and be like, oh shoot, like things are just happening really fast, or I'm having this opportunity, maybe I should take it, maybe I shouldn't. Don't worry. Be impulsive, Virgo. Right now is the time to be impulsive. Whether it's a relationship that's shown itself to you or you have the opportunity to go somewhere, just do it. Just do it, because 32 is telling you you're creating happiness right now and you need to be focusing on creating that happiness. Sometimes when you're creating happiness, it seems scary because opportunities present themselves and you're like, I don't know what I should do with them. But really, if you snooze, you will lose in this case. It's very, very powerful for you to step into that vibration. Leo, the light. Leo, right now, one of the things for you as well is the number 3 is to create delight, is to create happiness, Leo. Leos can be very angry and they can also have that energy of like keeping resentment towards people, but it's really important for you to actually at least step into this vibration right now and recognizing that if it's not bringing you happiness, if it's not bringing you delight, it doesn't have any area in your reality, and that's okay. You don't have to get confrontational, you don't have to be mean, you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is step into this higher state of consciousness that allows you to be everything that you are. Cancer, concentrate, because right now you're going through 9, the evolutionary status of your consciousness, okay? Cancer, if you've been feeling a lot of like emotional turmoil over the last couple months, it's about to fix itself. But you need to really ask yourself, what is it that you want out of your life, and go after that. It's not about you sitting around and saying the time will present itself when it's presenting itself. Because Cancer, right now is a really important time for you to listen to your emotions. If you want something, if you want someone, take the action and just go for it already. It might be really scary for you at this current moment. It might seem like new territory, something that makes you feel kind of like ungrounded. But if you snooze, you will lose. So concentrate. Concentrate on the image of reality that you're creating for yourself. Gemini. Gemini, you might be seeking for a little bit of guidance. Another 3. We're seeing a lot of 3s in this combination here. And a lot of 5s, like I was telling you guys, a lot of the numerology is very consistent here. When it comes to Gemini, if you're looking for guidance right now, recognize that you create your guidance, because you have a double 3 here, 33. So that's basically telling you, like, the answers are not always something that you're going to find outside of yourself. The answers are going to be something that you have to recognize that you are the creator of. That's the vibration that you seriously need to recognize. You are the creator of everything that happens in your reality. Even though there's something that might be eluding you right now, you have the answer for that as well, okay? So it's very important for you to kind of sit in that power and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to find it outside of myself. How do I create the solution? The solution sometimes can be very materialistic, which is, you just have to create a program for it. Other times it's going to be very spiritual, where it's like, I need to sit with myself, create the answer in my own consciousness, in my heart, and then let my heart guide me to the outcome that I'm looking for. So Gemini, right now is not really a moment for you to be doing too much, more so than creating, right? So like when you're doing, you're manifesting. When you're creating, you're simply existing and becoming. That's a very much so like a very powerful vibration to exist from. Finally, we have Taurus. Taurus is coming up with 11 and embrace, basically saying that, like, you have this huge manifestation that's coming your way. Embrace it, accept it, be part of it. Like, all of this is about literally allowing yourself to have whatever it is that showed up. And that's going to be a really great energy for you to, like, work from. So allow yourself to really embrace that, Taurus. Lots of good blessings. And keep your mind focused on the things that you want to create, not the things that you don't want to create. Finally, the last middle portion right here is going to be for all the zodiacs. And they're telling you, hey, and that's just telling you, you got a bunch of blessings, 44, okay? This is the time for blessings. And the card underneath is 45, innocence. So it's basically telling us we're still vibing with that inner child vibration. At the beginning of 2021, in linear terms in the earth realm, basically this energy was telling us at the beginning that we're going through a lot of death transformation, death energy, and that we also have to be healing our inner child a lot, okay? So we're still going through those two energies of, like, death, rebirth, and the inner child. It's just more so we're very much so in a specific vibration based off of your zodiac sign when it comes to that specific thing. So it's really, really important for you to step into this vibration of embracing life, embracing those blessings, not forgetting what these blessings are. So let's go ahead and dive into the next tapestry. So this tapestry might be a little bit harder to read, but we're going to be reading it for sure and allowing yourself to tap into a little bit more of your wellness. So we're going to put this one, the Ganesha deck, right on top in the center, because we know, all right, the cosmos in terms of zodiac is saying that we have a bunch of blessings coming through. Now we're going to be using the Isis deck to read this. So we're going to be using Isis, one of the grandmothers, to help us understand. We're going to start off here with this corner, the closest corner to the deck, which has to do with our knowledge center. So if you've done this exercise of the soul purpose on Patreon or through the Soul Alchemy course, then you already know what this specific area of knowledge means to you. So make sure that you accept this following reading for your specific personalized star and the meaning of each sector for you. So what do we authentically need to bring into our reality? What do we need to authentically bring in here, okay? Well, the Temple of Lapis Lazuli shows up, and basically the Temple of Lapis Lazuli is all about ancient wisdom that we've been carrying for a while, okay? Which is really funny because Lapis Lazuli is about wisdom and knowledge and being able to live from a space of authenticity, and it falls on the knowledge sector of the Star of Wealth for our soul purpose. So right now, everything that's really living here is something that's very specific to you and this vibration. So if you're somebody that your knowledge means truth to you, for instance, then knowledge and truth, Lapis Lazuli is telling you, carry that wisdom, live in the knowledge of your truth, and keep doing that. That's going to be the unlocking factor. If you have knowledge being freedom, for instance, or being peace, then understand that the more you know, the more peace you're going to be bringing into your life. So start reading, So right now, the knowledge sector is telling us that what we're bringing in is a lot of ancient ancestral knowledge, not just from this lifetime, but another lifetime as well. We're going to go to Moksha, or we're going to go to the area of travel, because travel also has to do with our expression. The talisman of potency shows up here in the travel section, and it's basically telling you right now there's going to be an opportunity where you're feeling like you're supercharged. You have like this ability to like just go and do whatever you need to do. Don't waste that energy. If it means sleepless nights, get it done. All right, because we're not just traveling in the physical sense. Some people right now are getting the ability to travel once again across the world, and because the pandemic is changing. But some people are traveling cosmically. They're rather traveling through the cosmos in terms of cosmic energy, or they're traveling through their own consciousness to understand something more powerful. Right now, it's very important for you to embrace whatever movement is coming towards you, because that movement or that travel is going to allow you to become potent. It's a lot of that Kundalini energy that's coming on right here on this specific corner, which this Kundalini energy is tied to Kali, is tied to Set, which are also the alchemies that I've been teaching on Patreon. We're going to go over to patience. Past life, present power shows up in the patience sector. So right now, things may seem like they're happening for you and they're stalling out in other areas. You might be having random reactions where you feel like you need to just meditate randomly. You might be accepting a lot of answers coming through that seem like very overpowering for your consciousness. It's because there is an alignment right now with a past life, and this is happening for everybody. Everyone's starting to see like these understandings that come with the past life power, the present power of being beyond time and space. Especially because there's so many people who are now learning how to transcend time. And that's going to be one of the major things that are happening right now. Once you kind of start living that lifestyle, you're going to notice that like all your memories flood in, doesn't matter what timeline it is. So you have to be very patient with yourself and understand that everything's repeating itself. That's one of the most powerful things. In terms of monetary, you're going to find a lot of monetary growth in the community. So if you're building a community, if you are working with other people, if you're trying to educate other people, community, or maybe even investing with other people in your sector of wealth, that's going to be the highest vibration for you, because a lot of this right now is coming back to what? Collective consciousness. A lot of the collective consciousness is teaching us that we're all one, that we all have to work together. The more we live from this space of like unity and empowerment, the easier it is that it's going to be for everyone to grow together. The people who are choosing to work independently, which is nothing wrong, because reality is working with others and only working with ourselves, right? But a lot of the times what we fail to see is that we get caught up in the 3D illusion of, oh, you know, we come into this world alone, we die alone. But we came into this world into the collective consciousness, and we die into the collective consciousness. So even sharing like a new perspective on how you perceive your life will allow you to let go of a lot of the victimization states that we carry, because a lot of the victimization that we carry has to do with the fact that we've never had people to rely on, or people who we've relied on haven't had the capacity to like really support us in certain aspects. So there's a lot of vibration here of like, if you've been suffering from independence like syndrome, you know, like where it's working against you, start working with the community. But recognize that if you go way too much into the community, you will distort the other half of being independent, because both are necessary for your neutrality. Okay, we're all practicing nirvana, the release of suffering, samadhi, being able to see things from a neutral standpoint, and that which is beyond, which is being able to see the gaps between those concepts themselves. We're coming over into family. The family is telling you that there's a deep, dark secret that's happening here that's about to surface from an ancient lifetime when it comes to the family sector. Okay, so if family sector on the workshops that we've been doing means family, if it means harmony for you, then there's a secret that's going to unlock itself in terms of your harmony that's going to fix your whole entire family structure if that's something that you've been looking for. Same thing with any of these other sectors here. If you have the monetary sector in our workshops have turned out to be desire for you, your desire is going to lead you into working more with people or the community in a new way. Okay, so like each one of these sectors has a very specific meaning for you. Think about these cards with those meanings in your sector. We're going to go over to the love or the health and nourishment sector, okay, the pleasure sector, the life sector. We are going to be looking at the Temple of Black Obsidian, which tells us in order for us to have health and nourishment, we have to look at our shadow. And instead of trying to stomp on our shadow, control our shadow, tell it what to do, we have to step into this vibration of loving it. Sometimes when a kid is having a meltdown or it's doing something that doesn't work for you and is actually working against you, one of the best ways to console a child is to listen to them, talk to them, and be like, why are you doing this? I feel frustrated. Why? Because I wanted this. But why? You know what I mean? And then eventually they'll notice that what they did was not nice and it's not helpful. And the way that you dismantle a child's shadow is through love, right? Parents who don't dismantle a child's shadow with love only empower the shadow, and then the shadow becomes a demon later on in that child's life when they become an adult, and then that demon retaliates against the parents now that the demon feels like it has more power, right? So it's the same thing that we have to do with our own internal consciousness. Our internal realm is recognizing that sometimes one of the things that we can do best for our health and our nourishment is to love the things that have been happening to us, to love the fact that, like, okay, we may have gotten hurt by someone that we really gave our hearts to, but that was part of the experience for something even better that's coming down the road. And I send love to that person. I send love to myself. I send love to the situation because the situation was just part of the journey. And if I get caught up in a situation, then that's going to basically be creating more of an illusion. And that's just an example that you could use. I mean, you could really use it beyond love. You can use it for friendships. You can use it for whatever it is that you feel like is most necessary for you in this time. So the next one that we're going to go into is the center of victory. Victory, divine destiny, the divine warrior. Right now I've been teaching a lot of like warrior vibrations on Patreon and through my one-on-one coaching, a lot of Kali, a lot of Seth, a lot about using yourself as a tool. A lot of people who are in alchemy themselves, they want to just specifically work in light, but light has a dark spectrum. And I was actually just talking about this with one of my friends most recently. And we both really understand Dharma really well, and we both understand the power of our consciousness. And one of the things that really surfaced was like, okay, when you work so much in the light, it's very easily capable to create illusions because you understand light so well, and we live in a hologram. The hologram is fed off of light. It projects itself with light, just like any other hologram. So light work, even though it is powerful, and some people are like, I'm a light worker, like that has a trap, because if you go far too into the light, you're gonna fail to see how you're creating illusions for yourself, or even creating illusions for other people. So when it comes to victory right now, it's about divine destiny. It's about becoming a warrior. It's about accepting the fact that the shadow and the light are necessary for each other because they're both coming from the same place. Without the light, you cannot project a shadow. Plain and simple. So that's kind of like one of the things that Seth has really taught me, is like, so many people are like, I want to be a light worker. I'm going to be the person that saves the world. It's impossible to save the world. There's so many different like elements that are happening that have been happening for thousands of years before you came around. And it's going to take time to dismantle a lot of those structures before we get there. Do we make massive improvements in consciousness so that those structures break faster? Yes. Will those structures break like entirely in our lifetimes? No. But will we see some of them dismantle? Absolutely. It's about being able to be a warrior at this time. Sometimes when you're a warrior, you need to literally not give a shit about what other people think. A warrior sometimes has to make the final call by themselves without a team, without the consensus of other people. Sometimes a warrior does something that the masses do not agree with, but at the end of the day was the best possible option for the collective good. So at this point right now, with this warrior energy and victory, most importantly, you need to think about what your word in this corner means and live that, because that's going to be the thing that brings you victory in all these other sectors of your life, whether it be the monetary, the patience, the travel, the knowledge, the family, or your health and nourishment, right? The blessings right here are coming through becoming a spiritual warrior. Okay, and becoming a spiritual warrior is empowering yourself in your truth, your knowledge. If this corner for you, victory, turns out to be a special word like purity, focus on the purity that is in your life. Purify yourself. Bring more of that vibration in, and you're going to see how all this other stuff just pans out for you. Finally, we're going to be walking into this vibration here, which has to do with endless prosperity. So that's not meaning abundance. It might seem very similar to abundance, but it's different. Endless prosperity, divine guardian. Right now you're being protected by the winged mother. The winged mother, divine feminine. All of this year, has been about the divine feminine. The moment that we stepped into the linear form of 2021 on the New Year's Day, that was the catalyst that we're stepping really deep into the divine feminine. We started stepping into the divine mother Kali, and we're going deeper and deeper and deeper into other aspects of this destructive energy, because right now the cosmos is rearranging itself. If you have a lot of chaos in your life right now, it's because you're not shaping chaos to your advantage. It's because you haven't understood that things have to die. If you're having chaos in your life, it's because you're holding on to something. If you're having pain in your life, it's because you're not living your life according to your wishes, to your Dharma. So you need to recognize what is that's in your way and just know that you are protected. And by cutting off or adjusting any of these elements, you're basically protected not only by Isis, but you're protected by Kali, okay? So a lot of powerful energy that's happening right here. And this is the other thing too, like if this corner right here, endless prosperity, means luxury to you, for instance, you're protected in the terms of your luxury. Live it up, girl. Like you have to go out of your way and live it up and feel grateful while you're doing it. Because if you're aware that you're protected in your luxury, but you're not expressing gratitude and every moment of that opportunity, you're not going to magnetize more of it. If you're feeling love already in your life and love ended up happening to be in your health and nourishment area, you already know that the more love you're grateful for, the better your health is going to be. All right. So there's a lot of key phrases in the star that can help you unlock a lot of your soul purpose. The final card that we're going to pop out, that's going to go right next to Ganesha in the center here, is the scales of balance, the tantra of your soul. Tantra, Kali, Tantra, Seth, Tantra, Isis, okay? We also see the scales of balance. Things are reordering themselves around your particular universe. Now, if you're a person that doesn't know the 8 centers of wealth that are going to be enlightening your soul, I recommend going on Patreon or taking my soul alchemy course. But if you're somebody that does understand this, or maybe you've done this without even any of my courses or anything like that, you just know what's going to fulfill you in these corners, go for it. Like, this is it. This is your personal universe. People who don't understand this, they're going to be struggling. They're going to be running in like these different areas of their life, wishing that they knew what was going on, watching other people around them fulfill themselves, and be completely confused as to why they're being left in the dark, okay? So one of the things that you can do is, like, if someone's telling you they're having a lot of monetary issues, right? Well, what does money mean to you then? And pass that knowledge on to someone else so that they can embody their soul wealth as well. What does money mean to you? Oh, money means expenses, is one of the things that one of my friends said to me the other day, because we've been practicing this as a group, and they were like, expenses, and I was like, no. Like, that's a bad word. I mean, if monetary means expenses for you, that's not what we want to be focusing on. You're going to keep manifesting more issues that way. And then he ended up changing his idea from expenses to expansion, and that was empowering. And that's how you can help other people. Is like, do you have a negative word tied to any of these 8 centers of wealth? If so, let's find a positive word. Live from that word. Okay? Live from that word. Expansion. How is money going to keep expanding you? Oh, you want more family? Oh, your keyword is harmony. How can you bring more harmony into your life so you can grow your family, or you can better develop your family in the direction that you want to go to? These are all key phrases here that we can really use to empower ourselves. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read your Dharma. Okay, so imagine that there's an X going right across. In order for you to embrace the pleasures of your life and transcend, okay, you need to love your shadow and embrace the fact that right now there's a lot of sexual energy, a lot of ability to move things, okay? So with love, move forward into transcendence. Now, this is one of those downloads that I had literally last night. I was sitting down, I was just kind of just like meditating, and the subject of love came to me. And it was like, okay, well, you know how people tell you, live in love, live in love, live in love, live in love. And sometimes we have this twisted perception from like romantic movies, you know, like I've only felt that kind of love in a romantic movie once or twice in my life or something like that. And you think that love is that only expression. But the kind of like dreamy romantic love that you have with a stranger, there's a different form of love when you love your dog. There's a different form of love when you love what you're doing. There's a different form of love when you've decided to love yourself more than another person so that you're not being taken advantage of anymore, right? Love has many different vibrations. Love is elusive because love is infinity. Love is a vibration of Antojai. Antojai is a craving of life. Antojai are the cravings of life, and Antojai flows through everything. So like when I was having this vibration download come through, it's just like, if you just live in love, you're going to create more love, because love naturally starts creating gratitude as you live forward. And love is the only vibration there is to really embody. So when you think about love in all these different ways, all you can do is live in this highest vibration. And this has been one of those things that's been really struggling for me, because I always used to think like, oh, love is like this, for lack of a better term, you know, like this weak vibration. Like, it's powerful and I know it has like weight, but at the same time it's kind of like very Sailor Moon vibe, like super glittery. It's not really for me, you know. But when you start taking away like those concepts that the earth dimension has told you about love, and you define love in the terms of like everyday living, that's what really brings out the magic. And that's when you start living in love. And that's why the ancients have told us love is the strongest vibration possible, because the more love you have, the easier it is to love life. And Dharma, your soul's purpose or your soul's duty, is to bring the collective together powerfully. Now, this was another one of those downloads I had last night, which was like, you need to focus on your ascension. Don't focus on anybody else. Like, do not focus on anything else but your ascension. When you have become ascended, share that ascension with other people by allowing your ascendedness to just overpour and expand outside of yourself into everything around you, instead of trying to create ascendance through each individual person that you talk to through sessions, or by saying that you have to just like heal the collective consciousness. This comes back to that individualistic community concept here. When you fulfill your Dharma and you feel empowered, you can then trickle that into the environment and allow that environment to unify as a community, okay? Because your purpose, your Dharma, and looking at the environment, or Artha, has to do with your divine purpose right now. Right now, everyone's divine purpose, at least, is to focus on generating a higher state of consciousness for the environment, not necessarily at an individual basis for each person. So yesterday I was in this meditation where I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna focus on just my ascendancy. I brought myself to the highest peak possible, and then I was like, I'm gonna let it flow into my dogs while I'm in this really great state. I'm going to let it flow into my significant other while I'm in this really good state. I'm going to let it flow into all the animals on the property. I'm going to let it flow into the whole entire neighborhood. I'm going to let it go as far out as it needs to. I wasn't healing the dogs. I wasn't healing the environment. I wasn't doing any of that. I was holding my resonance and deciding to share that with everyone. That's a different story, all right? In a way, I was healing myself because I'm an Aries, and that was my main thing coming out right now. But I wasn't trying to heal. I was just bringing myself to the highest vibration that I could. And then that was the answer at large. Now, when it comes to your foundations, so we saw an X going across. Now let's see a T going across. For your foundations, recognize that there is a deep knowledge that's going to be surfacing, okay? So you have to be living authentically in truth right now. You need to be patient with the things that are happening, and you also have to allow yourself to understand that the things that are happening at a super cosmic scale beyond karma itself. It's part of your divine destiny. It's part of you embracing the highest states of your possibilities and moving forward with that, okay? So here we just talked about soul purpose. We talked about different kinds of positive energies here. Now let's go ahead and look at what the cosmos has to say. We're going to put these two. So the scales of balance we already know are actually happening right now for our cosmos, and there's divine blessings coming through. So let's get juicy with tarot because we were just using a lot of oracle. All right. So we're going to start off with Saturn because Saturn only has literally a couple days left. Saturn was the energy that was ruling 2020. 2020 officially, based off of the cosmic scales, finishes on March 21st, 2021. So right now we're living in 2020 up until March 21st, and that's where the real New Year starts over, where we're living in 2021. 2020 is technically 2012, and we're living in a couple different illusions. We're living in under one of the illusions, which is it's 2021 right now, right? That's one illusion. If you started New Year's on at the end of December, right? And then you have like this other illusion that's happening right now where 2021 is technically 2020. 2021 would be technically 2013. 2020 would be technically 2012. Okay, so you can see how even reading the cosmology, it can get a little bit like complicated just because there's all these different perceptions. Now, these perceptions being open and available to everyone, if you can see them, you have a lot of power. You can guide people. You can even manipulate people into a specific direction that you want because there's so many timelines open right now. And a lot of times people think timelines are only just astral concepts, but you can distort timelines with material concepts, which we have been doing lately. People who are living on the timelines of 2021 already, oblivious to all the other information that I give you, they're living in a lower vibration. People who are going to be living in the vibration of 2021 starting on March 21st are the people that are going to have that more elevated, they're seeing reality from a real standpoint. People who recognize that right now it's 2012 under the guise of 2020, under the guise of 2021, are almost like outside of duality itself. They're surfing like this middle ground, okay? So that's why I'm really trying to like allow you to see all these different perceptions. As we wrap up 2020 or 2012, the energy here in Saturn is telling us it's very natural for a lot of economic issues to be surfacing right now. So like if you've noticed that you've been trying to buy things and they seem more expensive, if you've been trying to get out ahead in your career and just things are not necessarily panning out, that's because right now if you're still focusing on the lack of the material universe, you're going to keep creating that. That's just the shadow that needs to be overcome. This was very powerful for me most recently because it's happened to me a couple times in my life where I've bought in a lot of things because I'm like, oh, this is going to help my research, or oh, this would be very powerful for a next lesson, or oh, this will change the environment. Like, you know, you always come up with an excuse to get something, right? And then when you get it, you're not empowered. You don't feel as great as like the illusion of the thought of getting that specific thing, right? So right now, for the greatest lesson I can share with you is letting go of the fact that you need the material universe to back you up. Focus on states of existence at a spiritual level. I feel great. I feel juicy. I feel harmony. You know what I mean? The star of Lakshmi that I was sharing with you in the previous spread, those are the centers of energies that you need to be focusing on without focusing on the material universe. And the material universe will naturally formulate itself around you. So there's a lot of people right now that are dealing with financial struggle. That's because you still have not learned the shadow of being heavily ingrained in the material universe. The things that can come to you are very easy and powerful if you allow yourself to embrace something higher. Okay? We're gonna go into Mercury because Mercury on the 21st is going to be the energy that rules all of 2021, 2013. The Six of Pentacles. So 2021, March 21st, is literally gonna bring out this energy of like, you've had it good, you've been blessed. Like, keep analyzing the fact that you have that energy. That's so empowering. That's so juicy. That's so beautiful. Earth, because right now we are going through a lot of grounding energies. We have the vibration of the Four of Cups. Like, you have a lot of things coming your way. You might not be able to see what all those things are. Don't be ignorant to those things. Even though you don't want to take a sip out of those cups that are here because you've already had your fill, you need to recognize that you've orchestrated certain manifestations into play. They may be difficult to put into play for certain aspects, but you have to do it. You ask for it, right? Otherwise, don't complain when your foundation doesn't give you what you wanted, right? Everything is a give and pull. Like, you can request something from the cosmos will come and deliver it to you, but then the cosmos is going to ask you to take action and do something with what's been delivered, okay? So it's right now a moment of, if you've gotten the manifestations but you feel overwhelmed, suck it up, get over it. But at the same time, if you've been dealing with something that's been making you feel like, I'm done having this dish, walk away from it. This can be very easily toxic friends, toxic habits, just ways of living, whatever. If you know there's something that's not working for you, walk away. That's it, period. There's nothing else that you need to do. Neptune, the vibration of spiritual love, is next. The Ten of Swords shows up, and it's telling you, spiritually, you have an option right now, because duality is so much in effect all the time, and it's more lucid than it's ever been before. Do you want to be plugged into the trauma, or do you want to plug yourself out of the trauma? It's really that simple. And sometimes people come to me and they're like, oh, yeah, I want to stop having all this negative trauma in my life, but how do I just disconnect? Okay, where's your trauma coming from? My mom is super negative, and I have to hang out with her every day. I don't live with her, but I have to hang out with her every day, and oh god, she's just the worst person ever. Stop hanging out with your mom. How could I ever do that? That's my mom. All right, then you don't want to let go of the fact that you're suffering. You want to stay plugged into that suffering. Do you? You know what I mean? And that's called Dharma. That's called living authentically beyond judgment. You don't go asking for information if you ain't ready to accept the answer and take action. That's very similar to these two vibrations here. Like, sometimes we need to be conscious of the things that are not working for us and choose to do something different. And if you don't, you have no space to complain. That's the vibration of spiritual love. At the same time, one of the things that I've been teaching people in Patreon about Seth alchemy, right? Seth is the god of confusion, of the sword, of the sickle. He has a lot of vibrations that are like death oriented and sometimes even perceived as evil. But one of the meanings of Seth's name is to go missing for the sake of one's duty, to go missing for the sake of one's dharma, to go missing for the sake of one's soul purpose. And sometimes that seems evil to some people. I definitely had that experience a couple months ago with a fallout with a friend where I recognized, hey, I'm growing in a specific fashion, and we can't, like, I can't grow with the kind of energy that we're both producing with each other. The other person couldn't understand it, and I said, I'm going to walk away from it. And of course, that person saw me as evil. They saw me as set. They saw me as someone who just didn't care about the friendship, didn't care about anything. But at the end of the day, I was going missing for the sake of my Dharma, my soul purpose. My soul purpose told me, walk away from this. Was it hard? Because, you never want to let go of a friend. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I had to listen to that vibration, and now I'm seeing the rewards of doing so. And I hope that other person is also seeing the rewards. No judgment, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like these concepts that we really need to be paying attention to. We're going to go into Pluto. Pluto tells us the Six of Cups, another great vibration. So we see Mercury and Pluto with Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles. That's pretty much allowing us to step into these higher vibrations of accepting wealth and accepting our own growth. But of course, when we accept wealth and we accept our own soul growth, there's a cost that comes with that, right? If you really want to live in the highest vibration, sometimes the cost that comes with that is literally letting go of things that don't serve you, recognizing that maybe something has come to you and the only resistance that you're experiencing from it is the fact that you're being lazy, okay? So let's go over to Jupiter. Jupiter comes out with the Seven of Cups, which is a really good vibration, but it's also telling us pay attention. The cosmos is telling you that what you want is very much so attainable. Maybe the reason why you want it is not the reason that you're going to attain it for, okay? So this is one of the things that I really recognize personally in my manifestations. There was something huge that I've been trying to manifest literally for years. In the last 2 years, I've really started seeing movement on it. But part of it was being driven originally by the wrong intentions. I said I wanted to do this because I wanted to have these results in the future. I wanted to have this sort of status when it comes to like my work. I wanted all these material things that are in the future that I'm going to feel like are going to make my ego feel better about itself. My dream and my intentions were clear on what it is that I wanted. Like, it's very much so possible to get what I want. But until I realize why I actually want it, not because I want it because of all these other things that I originally talked about, that's when I'm going to get it the soonest, right? You have to learn a personal lesson on valuing yourself. And that's one of the things that right now I'm telling you to do is like, look at your reality. What is your goal? Do you want to become a millionaire? Okay. Is that one of your goals? All right, do you think that becoming a millionaire is going to change who you are once you have $1 million? You're wrong, okay? So if you're saying, oh yeah, when I'm a millionaire, I'm going to be the best person ever. I'll be able to finally work on myself and I'll be truly happy. If you ain't happy now, that $1 million is going to show up and you're going to be happy later either. You're just going to have more money to do what you think is necessary, but you're still going to be held back. And that's not a place to be. That's nowhere to be, okay? We're going to Uranus. Challenges, 5 of Wands, okay? Uranus is telling us these aspects that the cosmos is telling us that we still have to bring into balance so that we can receive our blessings. It's going to be a little bit hard because sometimes you have to look at things and be like, oh shit, that was really intense. I can't believe that came through for whatever reason. Sometimes it's a little bit of work because you need to take action. Sometimes it's a little bit of work because you didn't want to listen to what came through, but it was just there. It was just truth. You just had to react. Change can be pleasant and it can be constructive, or it can be very daunting. Change, let's just say, is like the gym, right? Like when you're going through the states of change, you go to the gym, and then people who are like, yes, I'm gonna get my physical booty, ooh, that summer booty. Those people who are going with that good vibration are like, yes, a gym. Their change is positive versus somebody who's like crazy obese is going to the gym and like, God damn it, I don't want to be here right now. Like, why? Oh my God, it's only been 5 minutes on the treadmill. Jesus. Oh, you know what I mean? That person's going to have a horrible experience altogether when it comes to their change. Change is just a gym. Change is just going on a walk. You got to make sure the walk is pleasant with your perception, or you can choose to be like, why am I going on a walk? I got shit to do. You're going to be stressed on that walk. Ain't nobody taking those steps forward but you to pay attention to what you're actually putting your mind to, okay? Venus comes in with the Queen of Wands saying like, you are deserving of everything that you want. You are deserving of everything that you are getting. You are deserving of everything that is blessed and divine for you. But it shows up on Venus. What is that all about? Oh yeah, that's right. That's about love. That's about love. And we saw what happens in the health and nourishment sector. That's also heavily connected to love or pleasure. The more love you bring into your life right now by finding the different vibrations of love that you can continuously exist in, not just when you're having sex and when you're with your booskies, not when you're just cuddling your puppy, not just when, something makes you love life, but shit, you're eating a piece of cake. I love this cake. Oh my God, do I love this cake, right? And living with that vibration is going to unlock more and more of the blessings that are just going to seem like, whoa, where did this come from? Mars has to do with movement. Mars shows up with the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is telling you there's so much magic happening right now. Are you going to take advantage of that magic, or are you just going to keep, just waiting it out? At the end of the day, the magic here is going to keep moving with or without you, so you might as well take advantage of it, okay? Don't be dumb. Don't be sleepy. Make sure you stay, what? Woke. If you do that, bam, 10 of Cups, all right? Which is all the good vibes, happiness, spreading that happiness with your homeboys or your homegirls, the home thems, okay? This is all the good vibes. Embrace it. This moment of change is everything for you. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Patreon, okay? Because all of it will help you grow, will help you connect with other people who are like-minded, and it keeps this kind of content flowing for you, okay? Join our new inner circle that we just created on Facebook as well. You can join in on that, and we have like tea every weekend and stuff like that. So it's really cool stuff. It just launched, so you can basically become a part of that. Links are going to be in the description below, and I will catch you later, baby.